Welcome to the Happy Yuppie podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Happy Yuppie podcast. My name is Mighty Rasing and this is the podcast dedicated to helping you pursue your calling, engage the world, and sustain your life. Hey Yuppies, it's me again, it's Mighty, and this is our podcast. In fact, it's our 40th episode. Grabe, no? Just for this year, naka 40 episodes na pala tayo since we launched in January. And so, I have a request from you guys. So, if you have been listening to this podcast for the past couple of weeks o kaya for the past couple of months, if you have some spare time, siguro kahit mga 5 minutes lang, please leave a review at pinoyyuppie.com/Stitcher o kaya sa pinoyyuppie.com/iTunes. And, depende sa inyo, kung ilang stars yung gusto ninyong ilagay doon. And you can just leave some review and some comments kung ano yung pinaka-helpful na episodes so far so that mas ma-discover din ng ibang mga listeners, ibang mga nakikinig sa podcast ang Happy Yuppie podcast, okay? And if you do that, I'm actually giving away 3 copies of my book, which is Start Up, Find Your Place, Engage the World, and Sustain Your Life. And by the way, that book is really for mga fresh college graduates or even for young professionals na nag-work na for several years already pero kailangan ng guidance on the career path. So, Startup, it's not a book for business kasi yung sinasabi nating startup, it's really related to technological business initiatives, right? Pero this one, Startup, Find Your Place, Engage the World, Sustain Your Life, is really for young professionals in the Philippines. So if you think na kailangan mong mapag-isipan kung ano yung career path that you should be taking, then by all means, I suggest get a copy of my book. Available na yan sa mga Philippine Christian bookstores nationwide and also at OMF Lit bookshops. We're still working on distributing it sa National Bookstore and other major bookstores, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to get a copy now, you can go to startupbookonline.com and you can fill out the form there and then we can ship it out to you, diba? So it costs 275 pesos only, diba? So you could consider this as your investment for your career, okay? So in the past week, we talked about evaluating your year. We didn't have a guest, no? It was just me. And I talked about evaluating your year. So, did you do that? Did you see kung anong nangyari sa 2014 ninyo? Did you follow what I asked you to do? Like, look at the highlights of each month, no? Now, before you listen to this episode, I really suggest na go there, evaluate your year because that's really important before you can plan for the coming year. Okay, so just go to pinoyyuppie.com/039. That's pinoyyuppie.com/039. And so, if we evaluated our year last week in our last episode, now the challenge now is for us to plan for the coming year. Kasi saktong-sakto, it's the end of the year. Usong-uso na naman yung pagsusulat ng New Year's resolutions, which if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. And yan din yung sasabihin ko sa inyo, don't bother. Don't bother writing New Year's resolutions. Instead, do something better. Plan for the next year. And this is how you plan. I recommend several steps, So if you want to check the show notes for this, punta kayo sa pinoyyuppie.com/040. 040. pinoyyuppie.com/040. And I also have a free spreadsheet that you can download para makapagplano rin kayo for this coming year. But before we go ahead with the planning process, I would like to challenge you. I mean, for this 2015, I challenge you to dream. And to dream big. But let's not stop at dreaming. Kasi I'm sure marami na kayong dreams since nasa college pa or kahit nung maliliit pa kayo, But the thing is, I challenge you to dream big, and then to commit to achieving your dream. One step at a time, one day at a time. And do that within 2015, di ba? And what better way to start anew with the coming year? So, yun naman yung nakakatawa because we are closing 2014 and we are entering 2015. So, are you ready? Here we go. The first step that I'd like you to do is to pick a theme for the next year. You could say to grow or to be a better professional. Yan, di ba? So, kumbaga parang you 2.0, yan yung mga ganyan. I would like you to pick a theme for next year. It could be one word, it could be a sentence, it could be 2 words. Kumbaga parang ito yung tagline mo for the coming year, ano? For me, ito yung aking tagline. This is my theme for next year. Grow big, no excuses. So it's a more intentional way of moving forward, of pursuing my goals and my dreams. Okay? And then, kung naka-pick ka na ng theme mo for the next year, it's your tagline. Spend a few moments, ano? Pwede mong tignan yung ilan sa mga graduation speeches. We have several sa pinoyyuppie.com. But you could say na halimbawa na si Steve Jobs, find your dream job. Pwede mong sabihin na next year will be the year of searching for your dream job, di ba? O kaya it's the year of starting a business, starting a relationship, or whatever. And then please write down your theme for the next year. Here's step 2. If you know your theme, then come up with 5 big audacious goals that you want to accomplish next year. So, ito yung theme mo. Now, what are the 5 big goals that you want to achieve? Why do we focus on 5 instead of sobrang dami, di ba? Kasi it's better to focus on a few things instead of diffusing our energy to achieving so many different things. Mas magiging spread out lang tayo, parang yung sinabi ni Bilbo sa Lord of the Rings, it's like being spread out too thinly, di ba? Ayaw natin mangyari yan. So, you could write in your journal yung 5 big goals na to. Pwedeng you want to get promoted, maybe to save more, to invest, to buy a house or buy a car, be in a serious romantic relationship. Oy, yung mga hinahabol na kalendaryo dyan, di ba? And then you could also choose maybe to be fit, to lose some weight and to build muscles. O kaya, you might want to start your own business. Okay? So just write down 5 big audacious goals for 2015. Our step 3. Look at the 5 big goals that you wrote down. Ito yung mas mahirap na part. Narrow it down to only 3. Now, if you only had 3 goals na pwede mong abutin given your present circumstances and your present set of resources, ano yung 3 na yon? So what we are doing here is to prioritize yung mga dapat mong abutin for next year. Di ba? Because sometimes 5 may still be a little too many for some people, ano? At para maging mas focused yung effort natin. And then step 4. Bilis, ano? Step 4. The thing is, we will narrow it down even further to only 1. If there's only one thing that you could achieve next year, what would that be? If there's only one thing na pwede mong abutin next year, what would that be? So, this means really choosing among the 3 kung ano yung gusto mong abutin first and foremost for next year. Kasi, if you can achieve the one pinaka-importanting goal for next year, and then you can have your energy to devote for the top 3. And then, kapag naabot mo yung top 3, you can then focus your attention on the 4th and the 5th goal para sa 2015. I mean, this is important because if you don't want to overwhelm yourself, kasi kung masyado pa rin marami, you might just be setting yourself up for failure. Here's our step 5. Put it in your schedule. Put it in your schedule. Kailangan mailagay natin to sa calendar natin because that's really the big commitment that we are putting. Kasi kung halimbawa kung susulat-sulat ka lang ng New Year's resolution, guess what? Probably 1 month or 2 months or even quicker, baka makalimutan mo na yung mga resolutions mo. And again, I'm really not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. Now, meron ding temptation just to plan for the whole year, no? Halimbawa January, February, March, April, May hanggang December, ipaplano mo lahat, I'm not sure kung anong level ng pagka-OC mo. Maybe you're the kind of person who really plans from January to December and then gets frustrated by December kasi walang nasunod sa plano. Now, to make things manageable, don't plan for the whole year because 12 months is too long. It's still important, of course, na alam mo kung ano yung gusto mong ma-accomplish at the end of the year. But here's how to make it manageable. Break it down in a 3-month period. So, ibig sabihin, we have 4 quarters in the year. So, ang planning time natin, it's just for 3 months. Kasi 3 months is long enough para makakita ka ng initial results. But it's not too long na ma-overwhelm ka. And sometimes kasi, di ba, if magplano tayo for 12 months period, sabihin natin, I still have a year, gagawin ko na yan pag malapit na. There's no sense of urgency. So, with the 3-month period, it's urgent and manageable enough. So, I'd like you to go back to your big goals, to the narrow 3, and then to the pinaka-importanteng goal, and then break those down into a manageable schedule and divide them into 4 quarters of 3 months each. So, you can plan, and part of that is you can look at the action items para maabot mo yung goal mo, yung target outcomes mo, hindi ba? So here's our step 6. Identify the resources and support you will need. Ano-anong klaseng resources ang kailangan mo? Do you need additional skills? Do you need money? Where will you get it? Kailangan mo ba ng ekstrang oras to really make time for the things that you really want to do? So, you can also take note of the other learning strategies that you need so that you can grow into the person that will become, that can achieve your goals for 2015. Diba? And then, alongside that, kasi resources din to, who are the people who can support you? Mahalaga din yun, Dun sa spreadsheet that I am sharing with you at the show notes, nakalagay doon, there's a column there for the resources that you need for each of the goals that you identified, and then you also need to identify the people to support you. And by people, I mean, who are the people who can help you achieve your goals? Ito siguro, you could list down your teammates, your supervisor, your loved one, okay, di ba? And then, ilagay mo rin kung ano yung mga specific ways that they can help you out. Now, if hindi mo alam kung sino yung mga makakatulong sa'yo, I suggest you start looking for them now. Diba? And how can you do that? Ito na yung ating step 7. Share your goals with people who believe in you. Share your goals with people who believe in you. Wag mong sasarilinin yung goals mo. Don't just keep it to yourself. Instead, you share it with the world. Kasi ang maganda dyan, you keep yourself accountable. And at the very least, kung hindi sila naniniwala sa'yo, edi at least may desire ka to prove them wrong. Diba? But if they believe in you and they can help you pursue your goals, then all the better kasi they can point you to the right direction. They can give you additional resources to help you with that. Diba? And then you could even find a mentor to help you and walk with you for the next year. Now, here's what I'm asking from you at this time. If you are planning for the next year or at least for the next 3 months, January to March, fill out the spreadsheet na downloadable from our show notes at pinoyyuppie.com/040. And if you want some concrete help on planning and in implementing those plans, then do let me know. I mean, makipag-connect kayo sa akin and you know what? by tapping into the community of PinoyYuppie.com, we might just be able to help each other achieve our goals for next year. So I'm still in the process of planning for next year, but I will also share my plans at the blog at PinoyYuppie.com. So dear Yuppies, it's the time for planning. It can be an overwhelming time, but I really suggest that you do it because it's an important way for you to grow and to accomplish your dreams. Okay? So if you have any questions, any reactions, then please connect with me. Yeah, you can find me at facebook.com/PinoyYuppie. That's PinoyYuppie. And then, of course, at the blog, PinoyYuppie.com. I'm also on Twitter. You could tweet me at Mighty Rasing. That's MIGHTY RASING. But all of these are available at our show notes, PinoyYuppie.com/040. And don't forget, I'm giving away 3 copies of my book, Start Up, Find Your Place, Engage the World, Sustain Your Life. All you need to do is to leave an honest review and feedback of the Happy Yuppie podcast. Just go to PinoyYuppie.com/Stitcher and PinoyYuppie.com/iTunes. So, bahala kayo kung alin dun sa dalawang platform na yun, Just leave a review and that will serve as your entry for a copy of my book. And I will announce the winners by January 2015. So, you better hurry up. You still have some time, no? Pero, well, the earlier you do it, the better it might be for you. Okay? So, this is Mighty Rasing for the Happy Yuppie podcast. I'll see you again next week.